Hello everyone, welcome back to ibuux. I'm Mohammed Ibrahim. Most of you know me as a fresh developer, but today we are switching gears. I'm taking you behind the scenes of my side first project, ibuux. I've been building the backend with Node.js, but I realized something crucial. Exposing a raw Node.js server to the internet is like leaving your front door wide open. It's not secure. It struggles with SSL management and load balancing and much more. A lot of things is totally a pain. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I implemented Nginx as a reverse proxy for my Node.js server, and I didn't do it the easy way. I did it with a modern way using Docker and Docker Compose. In this video, I'm going to cover five things. First thing, why you actually need a reverse proxy for your Node.js server. How I used A to generate the initial configuration files, and fixing the clash between Node's internal clustering and Nginx. Fourth one, installing Docker. Absolutely installing Docker on a low-end or else low-end spec devices with a low storage is not an easy way. How you can tackle that issues and installing Docker inside your machine. And fifth one, generating SSL certifications without installing Linux. Let's get into the code. First, why we doing this? Why not just run node server.js or app.js or index.js? Can be done with it. I looked into this, and there are three main reasons I decided to add Nginx. First one, security. Second one, SSL termination, and third one, load balancing. The first one, security. It hides my actual backend IP and headers, which obviously we need to cover up because of some kinds we our backend will be attacked by some of the persons or some bots. SSL termination. Nginx handles the HTTP encryption, so my Node app doesn't have to waste CPU on it. Crucially, it needs if you host or self-host your server, or else if you are using some third-party services like AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud. Load balancing. This was the big one for me. I wanted to distribute traffic across multiple instances. So for this entire script, first I need a companion to complete this entire procedure along with me as a technical buddy. So for this I have used artificial intelligence, which is obviously from the Google itself, Jules. So I started asking Jules to generate a production ready Nginx configuration. I didn't just ask give me code. I was specific in this case. So here is the prompt. So for this prompt itself, I have used Gemini 3 model. Obviously, if you are a Geo user, you can get it free. Gemini 3 can be get it free with some of the recharge packages. This is not a like advertisement or just a shout out to the Geo for providing such wonderful packages and combining with the Google Gemini. So this is the prompt. So I have Gemini. I have asked Gemini for the prompts, and it provides like here. You can see. I have a Node.js server and I need to set up Nginx as a reverse proxy in front of it. There's a goal, and I need several requirements from it. So these are the requirements like security and IP masking, and the second one performance optimization. Third one is load balancing. Fourth one centralized routing. Fifth one reliability and health checks. These are the five requirements I have given to the Jules, which in specific in this case to provide a specific configuration Nginx configuration file to my Node.js server. Security IP masking to mask the headers like X-frame options, X content type options, and XSS protections to mitigate common attacks, which happens in the servers. And include basic rate limiting because of if some DDoS attack attempts, we need to limit the rate. We sure need to limit the rate. That's why. The second one, performance optimization, is nothing but using SSL or TSL terminations because of offloading encryption and decryption from the Node.js itself will take a lot of resources. That's why we are making SSL and TLS terminations. And compressions is a part of it, by which is nothing but simply in manages it is a compression technique used in the Nginx to compress the JSON, CSS, and JS formats to reduce the payload size. If you're providing some responses from the backend side, obviously this is a wonderful one to reduce the response sizes. And third thing, caching. We need to cache the images and CSS while we are providing static files. Load balancing to distribute the load across the different ports. Centralizing the route and health checks and reliability. So this Nginx is good for the Node.js server, not only for this. Most it works perfectly with the, how I can say, microservices. Like we are using different servers, different types of servers. For example, we're using the REST API with the Node.js, and Fast API with the Python microservices. All these microservices are divided into different servers where you need to configure in one manner. This engines will come to help to produce a single entity for all those different servers to distribute the loads and SSL emission and furthermore. And I got this prompt. Next, what I have done, I have provided this prompt to the Jules, and it provides a beautiful engines configuration file to me. Further, I will say like I have faced a lot of things here, which is nothing but some tricky parts, technical parts, losing, which is nothing but we obviously know at the first instance or the first time of the response, artificial intelligence can't provide the exact result we are expecting. So it also throws some issues. I will show up here with my Nginx configurations here. So this Nginx configuration is provided by the Jules, but it needs furthermore changes because we cannot blindly test that. That's why. So if I run it blindly, engines would try to talk to the port 3000, first nothing and crashing. Because of here, while I prompted to the Jules, I have provided with 3000 and something like 3001 ports, but my server runs on 5050 port. So I cannot provide that, which will eventually end up in error. That's why I need to change the ports from 3000 to the relevant port my server is actually running. And I'm using Docker. In the world of Docker, localhost, some kind of IP address inside the Nginx container refers to the Nginx container itself, not my node app. So I had to redesign the entire architecture. I used Gemini to help me refactor this into a Docker compose setup. So the solution is uh, we call the service app. It listens on the port 5050 internally and it sits in front of it, like which the Nginx sits in front of the Node.js server. In the nginx.config file, upstream block, we don't use IP address, we use the service name itself. Like let me show you here. Like I've shown you something. Wait a second. Let me take it off. This is the one. So we have provided the service name itself instead of using some particular IP addresses. Since we have a different port from the actual prompt, we treat Nginx as the receptionist and the node as the worker. The receptionist needs to know exactly where the worker is sitting. So furthermore, what I have done here is that we have provided this entire setup to the Docker Compose to handle some and handle the lot of steps here. So I will show you the Docker setup too. This is the Docker setup. So in this Docker setup, which is nothing but Docker compose.yaml file, that ties it all together. So first of all, what you need to do is that to set up that Nginx inside your Node.js directory. First, you need to create a directory which is nothing but Nginx. Inside this, you need to configure two things. The first one is to create a file called nginx.config, and second is a setup.sh. This setup script is not much necessary, because if you are going to use this entirely inside the Docker setup itself, this will be helpful. But if you don't have the Docker setup, and you don't have essentially some other things, I think this is an optional one. And third one, this SSL will be generated automatically. But if you have some complications like low-end devices and you cannot run the Docker locally inside your machine, obviously you need to create this directory like SSL. This directory is going to hold your server certification and key files. It is generated with my main server file itself, which is nothing but server. That's why it is named as server.certification and server.key. So what I have done is that here inside the compose.yaml, I'm not building the node image locally. So previously itself, I have done what I have done is that once my Node.js project is ready, I push this to the GitHub. So which is nothing but we all know that to build a Docker image is obviously the time consuming, and also a lot of it takes a lot of memory resource inside your local machine. So for me, it is not a good one, because of since I have only the low storage, I cannot run the Docker inside my machine. So I get with the GitHub Actions for help. Here, what I have done, I have pushed my entire Node.js project to the GitHub, and I made GitHub Actions to build my Node.js Docker image. And once that is completed, it will be pushed to the Docker Hub. So this is the code for it. So I have pushed the code to the Docker Hub. Now what I have done, so inside this Docker compose.yaml. So once the pushing that image to the Docker Hub is completed, and I'm going to pull that image from the Docker Hub, and I'm going to build it. So in this phase, I'm using GitHub Actions as an entire build factory for my Node.js backend. Why? Because I use GitHub Actions as my build factory. I push code to the GitHub where it stores. GitHub Actions builds the image and pushes to the Docker Hub. On my server or local machine, Docker Compose pulls that exact image. This ensures that what I run in production is exactly what I was tested. It also saves my local machine from doing heavy builds. Technical theory is great, but let's talk about the reality. I have tried to install Docker Desktop to run all this, and my C drive was full. Literally, I don't have enough space to install the Docker. So I found a different way to generate this. So what I done is that I have read the forum from the Docker Hub itself. Um, I found a workaround to install Docker on my D drive. Because of that, so only drive I got some space. So since I don't have any space in the C drive, I need to install the Docker desktop inside my D drive. So for this, I got some consultants, or I got some words from the Docker official documentations itself, where they provide some commands to install the Docker desktop where you disprint, or where you want to the Docker installed in a specific drive. I will show you that command too. So this is the one. So this command is also provided by the Docker documentation itself. So this is like if we have the Docker desktop inside some directory. Let's assume you have the Docker desktop inside the D directory. Sorry, D drive, and you want to install the Docker desktop inside the D drive. So what you will do? Simply go to the G drive and open the PowerShell, or else you can simply open the PowerShell itself, copy these commands, I will give these commands. Don't need to worry about. I will provide this in and I will paste this in the comment section or description. You can check it out later. So here you can see the paste the path here. Here, what you need to do is that you need to copy the file path where your docker desktop.exe file is located. Copy the path and paste it over here. And once you run this in the PowerShell, automatically Docker will be installed that particular drive. So even though after installing the Docker, some of the issues I have faced is like with the SSL, OpenSSL commands. Because of for this command too, I have used the I need to use the Docker. So heavily using the Docker will takes a lot of resources, and relying all the steps in the Docker itself is a huge process consuming part. So what I have done is that I go for the native method. So I want to generate self-signed certificates to test HTTPS locally, like these two files, server.crt and server.key. So what I have done, since I have the Git inside my local machine, I navigate to the project directory. So for example, inside the G drive, I got this my server. So what I done, just right click here in the empty space and go to the properties. Sorry, just right click in the empty space. So more options you can see here. Open Git Bash here. If you click on this, it will open the Git Bash particularly on this drive. So once you're done, what you can do is that simply you can copy the code I'm going to provide. This is the one I will provide in the description, which will be helpful for you to generate these two files, which is nothing but certification and the key file for the SSL. Yeah, for that Nginx can be done with this command. So for this, once again, I'm going to show how what you need to do. Go to your root directory of your backend folder. Right click on the empty space and open the Git Bash, or else you will see something like show more properties and open Git Bash here. Automatically, it will open the Git Bash. Copy this command I am going to provide, which will present in the description, and paste it over here. Once you run, you will see these two files present inside the Nginx directory, inside the SSL directory as certificate server dot certification server dot key, which will be helpful for you to generate the SSL and TLS terminations. So here's the moment of truth. Docker Compose upd we are live. Nginx is accepting the request on the port and handling the SSL and routing traffic to my Node.js cluster on port 250. So with this, I have successfully containerized the app, implemented a reverse proxy, solved the storage and pathing issues on the Windows. So I will upload the full nginx.configuration file and docker compose.yaml file to the description below. If you are building a Node backend, I highly recommend this setup. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on Flutter, Node.js, and furthermore. Thanks for watching.